Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to ATI Pro Media. We're powered by Advanced Trading. Now, I thought it would be a nice, easy show. We'd get in, we'd get out, we talk about a little stuff. Just got done being on RFD TV. And then Connor B built the show, and he gave me a laundry list of stuff we got to talk about. It's so long, I don't even think I could remember it all. But I know this. The funds are starting to cover shorts. We have weather to talk about, all types of rain flying around. I think y'all could use a drink here. Even though we're going to get started with harvest. We are going to have harvest pressure. We're going to talk about my travels from North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa, Illinois, and Indiana coming across there. What I learned. Been communicating with clients and ATI Pro Media subscribers, asking them, call to action, when will harvest start in your area? Drop a comment below. We'd love to interact. You can interact with us on the show, or we could get to you later. We have markets up like crude oil and gold recently, and all types of fun stuff going on. We have a Fed meeting. First time the Fed's lowered interest rates since before. You remember that little thing where we took a few weeks off. All right. I think we had assassination attempt or something of the sorts. President Trump tweeted 0-2, which is a heck of a lot better than the Bears did last night. Let's go to LaSalle Street. Then we'll go to Wall Street. And then we'll bring Connor B in. Dees corn down 3. No beans with some exports up 3. Meal up 3.30. Oil unchanged. Here's where we go to the sad trombone, but it's had a heck of a run. Board of Trade wheat down 15. KC down 17. Minneapolis down 15. Moving over to the moos and oinks. Cattle up 50 in the October. Feeders up 170. Nice price action there. Lean hogs up 125. Wall Street it is. Gold still flirting with record highs, 2,612. Silver putting on a little 31 handle there. Interest rates, all eyes on that Fed meeting this week. I believe it's a 2-day meeting. Crude oil, 70.38. We've been screaming, or at least suggesting, that you call the fuel guy. Get those fuel needs locked in. We traded 68, 66 a little bit last week, 70.33 there. Natural gas chirping back up, 23.47. That had a 19 handle. It's been warm, and they're probably using some of that across America to get electricity needs met, as we still have the air conditioner on. Dow Jones up 300, ring the bell. NASDAQ down 100, S&P unchanged. Bitcoin on the struggle bus, down 1,500. Dr. Copper up 5. Connor B, Bears game, assassination attempt. We got an easy show. Let's go, brother.
Yeah, I stayed up late watching the Bears game. I wish I didn't, Tommy.
What happened? I don't even know the score. I watched.
Here, it's going to be the same thing. If you've been a Bears fan, we're used to this. We have a pretty good defense, maybe a great defense, and our offense stinks. Sum it up. Move on. Week 3, let's do it. But anyway, with that, quoting up the markets, one thing that jumped out at me, Tommy, is this wheat. Chicago wheat down 15. Right, not the action we wanted to see today, but
17 now. Keep talking about it. It'll be down 20.
I'll stop. I'll keep moving on. And so, a couple things to talk about. Rate cuts is a big one. I want to look at commitment of traders report that we saw Friday. But first off, we've got another flash sale, Tommy. We always try to announce those, so let's get that out of the way. 132,000 metric ton of soybeans for delivery to unknown destinations for 24-25. We will take it.
I'm not upset. Yeah, let's keep them coming. Hoping our boys in the PNW that we light up that market, get those rails going. It's amazing if you've never seen it, folks. If you drive up and down 29 at Harvest, you go by Alton Grain Terminal, and they're just moving grain, and that grain gets put on a BNSF railroad, and it goes up and around. Next thing you know, it's being crushed in China a few weeks later. Really impressive. It's fun to work with farmers and see them grow the crop. They stress about it all year. It's not going to make it to the end. In the case of the North Dakota farmer, we did a little premium today with Mick Kerr, and I said, pretty good chance we won't have frost till October. He said, 0 chance. Now, if there is a frost, we'll go back. But he was pretty confident in that. And I'd say after 40 years of doing this, he knows what he's talking about. And it has to do with moisture. We're going to get moisture up there. But nonetheless, my point is we're going to make it to the finish line. That means Tommy G with a book of business in North Dakota. I'm in the bushel business. And we had a group of farmers who were so reluctant to sell. They weren't afraid to protect, but they said, you don't understand. Our corn might not make it to the finish line. It looks like it's a heck of a runner. unlike the Bears, this corn and bean crop is a finishing winning team.
Well said. Well said. I don't have it for this show, but one thing we got to talk about when we're looking at exports, we got to pay attention to that Mississippi River water level, Tommy.
Mhm.
A lot of headlines on that. It's a little bit lower. Feels like I need to do my research here, so that's fair to say. But weren't we talking about this last year at this time, where we see that low water levels? Either way, right? Not looking at the seasonality, if it's getting low, whatever that may be. But it doesn't bode well for the interior, and we're looking at trying to get this crop moved when we've got the record crop a lot.
Yeah, and raise your hand, folks, if you're out there in ATI Pro Media land. Remember that night when the markets opened and Novjan broke about 18 cents? I believe it was Novjan. Correct me if I'm saying it wrong. But someone was pretty sharp when they realized that we were going to do something. I think it's called force majeure. And no, that's not a French sandwich at a deli. I believe that's something you do when you say, listen, I know we had a deal, but I can't do it. There's not enough water in the river. I can't load this boat in the Gulf. I don't think we're there. Hopefully these rains help. We did have a nice chunk of rain that hit the southern belt, but that'll run right down there. Let's get the rains up north. Those will flow down there. This rain this week's probably really beneficial to the river system. And of course, I think the crops need it. Now, I'm not a farmer, and but I could tell you, I can see in Northwest Indiana, in my neighborhood, it's real obvious now, folks who have a sprinkler system in their front yard and folks who don't. Even the people who don't are putting the little spinnies or the little back and forth trying to water that line. We got someone calling the ATI Pro Media line. Jojo, pick it up. See who the heck's calling us. We got one on line one. Hello. We got a caller on the line. All right.
Good stuff.
Got a caller on the ATI Pro Media line. Let's light up those lines. Jojo's just sitting there waiting to get your call. If we didn't get it sent to voicemail, we'll get back to you. All right. What else? Assassination temp 0 and 2.
There you go. You want to talk about that?
Oh, you give me the easy ones. What can you say? This guy, he's an interesting cat. There's a lot of mental illness in America, and it's at this point, I called my parents and I said, "You see what happened? They found another shooter." They weren't even fazed by it. They're like, "Oh, I hold on, we're watching BritBox. There's a new show on." Like, we're callous to everything after what we went through the last 5 years and the last 5 months. It's like, oh yeah, hold on. I'm on series 7, episode 7. We'll get back to that. And the hits keep playing, right? Yeah. This young man wasn't well. Thanks for the Secret Service. I guess he wasn't young, but I guess what they do is they're always sweeping. They're always 2 holes ahead. And then they're 2 holes behind. So they went up, they looked to the right. He did not, from what I understand, he did not shoot at the president. The shots fired were actually the Secret Service shooting at him, but he had all the equipment to do it. And let's just want to get through this election fair and square. That's what I'll say about that. Whoever wins. I'll deal with it. As long as they don't take away trading corn futures or options, I'll be okay.
Sounds good to me. So speaking of that commitment of traders, Tommy, we released it Friday, and all year we've talked about this massive short position, at times record short position. And when are we going to see that short covering rally from the funds? And are we going to feel that looking at the futures market? And so we've got 2 out of 3 of those words. We've got the short and the covering, but we haven't seen the rally. Look at this chart. And so these from basically first week in July to now, we've seen that black line. This is corn futures. I think it tells the story as much as anything. We've seen them buy back those shorts a little bit, increasing longs too, but mostly it's buying back the shorts. We're now in the territory of 2023. We're kind of right in line with that position, and 2019. And so, Tommy, here's the thing. I'll quiz you. First week in July, D's corn price to now, how much did it improve, right? We saw the short covering. How much did the D's price improve in that month and a half run?
Are you asking me a question?
I'm asking you.
Can I be so polite to say I haven't heard a doggone word you said the last 15 seconds? I got emails here, text here. You ask how much D's corn rallied the last few weeks?
Here, I'll answer.
Can you help me? Can I call a friend?
You can phone a friend.
I was just waiting for my turn to talk.
Bounce it over here. Okay, here we go.
Bounce it back. Send it back.
we've seen the shorts cover significantly. The price is basically unchanged from the first week in July to now.
That I do understand, and you understand why, of course, and we need our viewers and listeners to understand why. You guys are caught long the 23 crop, and this, if the funds cover, we're going to rally your hurrah. The funds covered over half their position right into you puking your, I'm going to hold out for less. That's what happened here. So store and ignore hit the funds gently covering. I bet you they covered a bunch Friday. Take it from a guy who was selling corn up 5, 6, and 7 and wasn't impressed with the +8 close there. But it's now we're down 4. Friday was interesting with the corn closing on the dead high. To go back to wheat real quick. Why is wheat down 18? Because wheat shot up a bunch on Thursday, Friday on these Russian rhetoric, but don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. You hear the word nuke. Unless a nuke goes off, we got too much wheat in the world. And if a nuke goes off, price of wheat's not your problem. We got way bigger problems. Real quick, the reason I was so excited and not maybe paying as much attention as I should as a co-host, we have someone from Ontario who his name's Alan, and he's with the Andersons, and he's one of these guys who, when we say call us, email us, text us, he's always sending great information here. And so I just love that he's interacting both through email, text, and everything else. And he's been a great listener and friend of the show. So Alan, it's fun. Do we have any other guests or listeners from Canada? If you're from Canada, drop a comment or say A or something on our blog here. All right, what else do we have?
Yeah. So, well, commitment of traders, right? That you summed it up nicely, even though you weren't listening. The short covering.
It's not that I don't like you. I just something distracted me.
Oh, well, you got butterflies in the basement. But anyway, the short covering position did not offset the farmer long. We talked about that all summer. We could see a short covering rally, but the farmer long is going to offset it, and that's what's coming. That's what came to fruition. That's what we're seeing, right? We saw the short covering happen. We just didn't get the rally to go with it. Other thing we have, Tommy, is we've got the Fed meeting, right?
Big deal,
right? Is
Is
it going to be a quarter rate cut? Is it going to be a half? Right now, it feels like a lot of terms I'm hearing is the soft landing. We're going to see the quarter rate cut is where the odds are, right? About a 40% chance we see a 50 basis point cut. But yeah, so we'll see that. We'll listen to the rhetoric. Other thing we have, Tommy, is we've got a lot of banks looking at central bank meetings this week. So we've got the U.S. one. That's a big one. Brazil is holding a policy meeting. The Bank of England, Norway, South Africa. And then, right, we haven't talked about this for a few months. Into the week, we've got the Bank of Japan meeting as well.
And that'll be interesting with what happened with that dollar yen trade. Very interesting.
And so that's one of those, right? They were big in the headlines. We saw that we were talking about them, felt like every day for about a week. Recession fears they were coming. Well, we canceled that very quickly. But a lot of monetary policy is going to be discussed this week, with the main one we're going to focus on is probably going to be the U.S. What type of rate cut are we going to see?
It's interesting. Going back, we were talking a few months ago, like 60, 65, 66% of all countries had an election. We're going through a big change of rate cycle where we made access to cash very accessible over the last, we're going to say 50 months. So we got 12 months a year, over 4 years and 4 months over the last 50 months. Access to cash was extremely easy. And then we had inflation, and then access to cash wasn't too easy. So we're going back where we're moving this monetary policy. And I want to correct myself. Now I think about it, access to cash was extremely easy for a year and a half. That's when we push rates down. Then as they started to raise rates, they were gently making access to cash not so easy. Why this benefits people like us? Remember last week we're joking about F-250, Silverado, this. I was on the Chevy website this morning, and now they're starting to flash the 4.6. Of course, you can finance it for 84 months. That's my favorite. But you're starting to see rates calm down. I talked to some friends in real estate. They're already refinancing homes. Access to cash is easing up. From a farmer, or from what you need to know out there, and I'm ultra confident in this, whether it's quarter half, that's no big deal. What he says afterwards and how the dollar reacts will be so important. I will go in the Fed meeting with my own account 100% flat. And then by the time JJ, as they like to call him on Wall Street, as they do the announcement and his questioning, grains will be closed. And then we tend to get a big move in the dollar, the yen, the this, to that. And then we have a gap open or lower in the outside markets afterwards. And grains tend to gap or open. You'll see beans gap open 5 higher, 5 lower, just on this dollar move from what he says. Regardless, the 10-year and all the other bond instruments have priced in 4 quarter-point rate cuts. For you home gamers, that's 1%. Okay, 4 quarters equals 1. Just keeping it together there. I don't know if anyone's ever cooked, but sometimes you had a quarter of sugar, another quarter, and you got 5 quarters, right? 4 quarters, 1 cup. 4 quarter cuts, 1 point. We're at like 5.25, 5.5. We're going to come down by the end of the year. They think the Fed funds will be 4.5. Back to you, my friend.
Yeah, so we'll be paying attention to that. That's Fed meeting starts Tuesday. I think we'll get a decision Wednesday. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Tommy. So we'll be talking a lot about that. Last thing I got, and I say we wrap up the show. You drove North Dakota back to Valparaiso. Give us a quick update, right? What did you see? I think, last week I said harvest was really going to start hot and heavy this week. That was kind of my prediction. I'm kind of pulling back that a little bit, Tommy. I don't know if I think I overestimated how excited guys are to cut wet corn. I think we might be more on soybeans. If soybeans are ready, we'll see it really ramp up in Central Illinois. If not, it might be a little bit slower start than I really thought.
Yeah, maybe a tiny bit slower, but things are ready. I left Valparaiso, went to Ames, Iowa, spent a few days there. Ames up, I believe that's 35 over to Minneapolis, up to North Dakota. Now, when I came down 29 all the way to 80. Things, when they're ready, like we're going to go through this little rain event, that's fine. When they're ready, it's going to hit. It's going to hit hard, and we need to keep talking to people about spreads, basis, and just having room for this crop. Before we get out of here, I want to talk about ATI Pro Media Premium. Of course, premium, $30 a month, $1 a day. I did a video Friday. I'm not super happy with it. I was extremely rushed. I'm going to retouch on it this week with Kurt Struber, hopefully today. But bearish USDA, bullish reaction. That was one video I did. And I also did a video on the map. Advanced Trading puts out maps on space. And it's amazing to see. There we go. 2024 preliminary fall storage space. I did talk to Mark Tulaski about this, but long story short, for you home gamers, I'd love for you to subscribe. But the bottom line is this: Indiana, Illinois, and Iowa have a whopper of a crop, and y'all are holding a little bit of old crop too. So we kind of have some space issues, which means corn might go on the ground. For example, where I live in Valparaiso, Indiana, you go out to Malden Elevator here, which is like a co-alliance group, and they have extremely wide basis. That's just a polite way of them telling the whole world, I don't need all your corn at harvest. Figure it out, people. So when they go 40 under, 50 under, 60 under, do you know any other way from an elevator system to say, I don't need it all in Octave D's? Connor B.
There's only 2 ways. You really weaken the basis, or you start doing shorter hours and start closing the doors. If you really, really don't want it, right? That's usually the last case. But that's the only 2 ways I know, Tommy.
Well, space and managing space is so important. Money and managing money is so important. Now, we've been blessed with the bushels, especially in the I-states. But then, of course, up north, they've always had the potential to grow the bushels. So we're getting, I'm not going to say we're at the finish line, feel like we're coming around the corner. We're at mile 20 or inning 7 or 8 of this baseball game. We got to take her to the end. And then once in 6 weeks, we will no longer be arguing what the size of the crop is. We'll be talking a lot more about spreads into the carry and everything else like we touched on. So you're going to be hearing a lot. You're going to hear a lot from the commercial department here the next few months, and really watch them shine. Speaking of the commercial department, we're going to have it set up in the next week or two. If you want to get a hold of someone from the commercial department, Advanced Trading, we'll be able to block off a segment of time. If you want to get a hold of one of us from the Farmer Marketing Group, you'll be able to click and hit a drop-down box, just like on the doctor, dentist, whatever, and book your little time to talk to us. It's very important. We'll give you a half hour free. Sometimes free is a little expensive, but hey, if you make the time to book an appointment with us, we'll make the time to chat with you. So back to you, Connor B.
Yeah, well said. We'll see. Drop us a comment. Let us know if you think harvest is really going to progress in your area. We want to know. if you see some yields, right? If you're excited or if you're disappointed, let us know that too. But we'll see how this week goes, Tommy. If I usually, whatever I predict, it seems like I'm usually about 2-3 days behind. I always overestimate how fast it hits. So we'll see where this week goes, right? We've got a pretty clear week in Central Illinois anyway. So we'll see. But I think with that, that's all I got, Tommy.
I'm not done. I want more. I feel bad. Okay.
What you got?
Shout out to y'all. If you're out there and you want to get a hold of us, just go to the Advanced Trading website. Up above, you'll see tabs. There's a contact us on the Advanced Trading website, and there's also a contact us on the ATI website. You can email us info@ATI Pro Media 1-855-737-FARM. You say, hey, I want a little taste of these premium videos. We'll send you a couple. The last few we did, or the ones, some are better than others. Like you and Brady put together some phenomenal stuff last week that I think would knock people's socks off, and you're willing to share that with people. We'll share a couple of those, but book your half-hour appointment. We'll have that up in the next few weeks, but go to the ATI website and say, I want to spend a half hour with Tommy, Connor, Joe, Brady, someone from the ATI Pro Media team, or any broker at Advanced Trading, commercial, someone else. Trust me, they're stream. I get this phone here, hit one button, we can get a hold of anyone. With that, now I'm ready to end the show. Questions, comments? Oh, my.
Here we go. Rush Ranch 4th generation. Found some corn that's breaking off at the knees. Oh, Russ, I don't know where you are, but you hate to hear that. Go check your cornfield stand ability. Yep.
Good call. What part, where's he from, Connor?
I'm not sure. I'd love to know.
Rush Ranch, if you got a second, pop off where you're from, and is it, you think it's just a hybrid issue, your issue,
did
wind
you get
issue?
wind? Yeah, where are you at? Did you get
Right.
the wind damage? Would love to know. Haven't seen, if you're a Central Illinois guy watching this and I misspeak, call me out, but not a whole lot of wind damage. We never got, my gosh, I can't remember what happened last week, let alone all summer, but we never got any just massive, big thunderstorms, big wind events. It didn't feel like, Tommy. Maybe I'm wrong.
That little bit of DeChurro. Remember the
that was a little bit
restaurant that we go to, DeChurro, over there in town.
The Derecho 2.0 was the headlines.
One.
It was a little bit north of us, really. Even the potential, but yeah. So
all right. Did we get Russ get back to us? Because he's probably speedy on the
hail and wind damage in Iowa.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Appreciate you watching the show. And to Alan, who comments, folks, get a hold of us. We do this show for you. Price of corn looks like out to the carry 25, 26, 27. If there is a 28, we're 450 corn for a while. But within that, we may go up to 5. We may go to 350. We may go a lot higher. We may go a lot lower. We want to be able to keep you prepared for any situation.
Yep.
Be like water. You could be liquid, you could be ice, you could be steam, but water's not just water, and you need to be flexible to adjust your marketing plan. And hopefully you trust someone like us or someone else to do it. And even if you don't work with us, I am so interested. What's working for you? 2 calls to action. When will harvest start? Drop it in the comments. What's working for you in your marketing, and what could we help you with? All right, now I'm ready to get out of here.
I like it. Good show, Tommy.
Hey, Monday Night Football. Who do we got tonight?
Eagles, Falcons.
Sounds good to me.
I'm not staying up to watch it. I can promise you.
See you, bud.
Maybe the first half. Bye.
Joe says hit the button. Have a good day, everyone.
Thanks for joining us. We're here every day, 9 a.m. Central. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.